I wanted to do like a hot takes of like relationship questions because I was watching one of my favorite podcasts and they did like the hot takes game where basically like they have a bunch of hot takes on like these cards and then each player would like go around like saying either agree or disagree and then like talk about it. So I was like, you know what? I'll just pick like the topic of like just relationships and there's like different specific topics within relationships that I'm just gonna pick out from this like random list and talk about. Might be controversial, might be not. Let me know if you agree or disagree. All right, let's do. Okay, first topic is like long distance. Is enduring success achievable in long distance partnerships? Now, success is like broad, but I'm gonna take success as in like are long distance relationships going to last for a long time? And I'm gonna say for the most part, no. The exception would be if you're in a place in your life where you can handle like long distance relationships. Um, and I mean like as in you have a somewhat stable like financial situation, you work a 9 to 5, like you can take care of yourself. Um, you live in an apartment or a house, like you've got that shit like figured out and you're willing to do like all the extra like work that comes with long distance. Because I think a lot of us, especially younger, we just think like, oh, like this person's moving away. It's fine. Like we can still manage and work together. But like, no, no. Like, what if you or both people in the relationship like haven't figured anything out, or you're still finding yourself? You don't know where you're gonna end up with, like where you're gonna end up, like as in physical location. And especially when you're like young, I want to say maybe out of like high school or even college age because a lot of people choose different routes after college, right? Some people go on to do more schooling. Some people just want to go straight into the workforce and it's not like it's so easy to get a job exactly where you live now. Like you might have to move like a few towns over or even like a few states over. And I just feel like it's hard to expect like the other person to uproot their life and like dedicate their like the success of their life and like their job in like your new state. You know what I mean? But if you're like in your 30s, 40s, whatever, and like you already have shit figured out, they have shit figured out, and you both acknowledge that like okay, this is long distance, but in the future we want to bridge that gap. Like either one of us has to move and you're both okay with that and you both agree with it, then yeah, I think it's possible. Because then that distance is gonna close, but there's no way you can forever be long distance. Like I don't think that's possible at all. Like in what scenario? Unless it's like a fake relationship and I don't know, you're like someone's beard or something. Like you just are keeping it up for appearances. Like no one's gonna survive long distance because you're just gonna be in a relationship with your phone and like what, video calling them? No, it's just it's just not gonna work. Um, let me see. I want to see which one I want to talk about. Strategies for sustaining intimacy across the miles. I don't think that's like a hot take thing. It's just like a debate. Um, I mean, there's video chat. That's all I can say. Um, should couples share their passwords as a sign of trust? Ooh, I'm gonna say no. I think it's just too close to the, oh, I'm gonna check your phone territory. And I feel like if you're already there, or you're even thinking about, oh, I gotta check his phone, I gotta check her phone, it's already too late. Like you already have like the seeds of like distrust in your partner if you want to see into their phone. And I think like sharing passwords is too close because like people are curious, people are nosy, okay? And especially if you're like first getting to know each other, maybe you think it's cute to be like, look, this is my phone password. But what if the person is like nosy or is now too curious that like when you're not looking, they can just like go into your phone? It's like a breach of like privacy. And I don't know. I feel like it like opens the door for being possibly toxic because if I had someone's password, I would be so curious to be like, oh, what's inside? And I'm gonna find something I don't like. So I'm just like, there's really no point. And I feel like it's such a immature sort of thing to do. Like if you're worried that your partner has like side chicks or whatever, it's like you don't have to go in their phone. Like if you have that gut feeling, something's wrong. Um, I don't think so. I don't think unless it's like an emergency situation, like you can only like your phone is like the battery's dead and you have to use their phone to like talk to their family because they're in an emergency situation, then yeah, you need the password. Like that's fine. But in general, no. Okay, three. Okay, is monogamy natural or a societal construct? Oh my God. I feel like, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like polygamy is trying, like, there's people behind the scenes, I swear, the Hollywood Illuminati are trying to make polygamy normalized. And I think I've seen this in a post somewhere, but it's like, I don't know if it's HBO Max or another like streaming service that it's like every other show there's polygamy in it. Even in one of my favorite shows, actually my most favorite show, You, which you guys, if you guys haven't seen it, you have to see it. Um, there was, I think it was either season 2 or 3, and there was like a polygamous like couple in it, and it was so even though the main character like he was definitely not exuding, oh, I'm into polygamy, like at all. Like if you know Joe, you know. But I was just like, this is so weird. And it wasn't just the only show I've seen that in. Like there's plenty of other shows like we can think of modern times that it's like it's becoming normalized. And I'm like, are polygamous people really like, I don't know, like judged or like too ostracized in society that we need to see like a couple like that everywhere? I don't think so. It's like if it's your thing, it's your thing. But is monogamy natural or societal construct? I mean, everything is a societal construct if you want to think about it. I think it definitely is. I mean, obviously, where did like marriage come from, right? It was owning women. Like, let's be real here. Like, keeping them at home so they would like, you know, have your kids while you were out there like making money. Um, it was a way of controlling women. I 100% believe that. But that's marriage. It's not necessarily monogamy. Like, those two are not the same thing. But, I mean, yeah, it is a societal construct. Like, we have determined as a species that, like, we're gonna get in relationships where it's two people and we're gonna be, like, loyal to each other and not cheat on each other. So, I don't think having, like, sister wives is particularly natural. Yeah, I don't think it's like, oh wow, it's like in nature. It's just survival of the fittest. I don't know. Can a relate? Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. I can go on a rant about this. Can a relationship survive infidelity and regain trust? Absolutely not. Okay, I am 100% saying absolutely not, and there's no way I would waver on this or like any other opinion I would hear about this, because I'm all for, like, I'm the type of person, it's like I'll learn my like lessons once. I just need once or maybe twice. I don't need like three, four, five, six times. So you better believe if my partner cheats on me, there is no surviving that. Like, you have literally crossed an invisible boundary. But it's the most obvious boundary. It's like the number one rule in monogamy, right? Because polygamy, it's like you can, I mean, it's not cheating if you're all into it, but with monogamy, that's like the number one rule. And I, especially if it's someone I love, the only way it would survive is, I mean, I'm still gonna break up with the person, but only if I like never loved them and never had romantic feelings for them would I would I be like okay with it? Because it's like, well, my feelings weren't there anyway. But if I'm in a like long-term relationship, I actually care about the person. Not even like, I don't care like at what point in the relationship it happens. You cheated, it's done. It's over. You're like booted off. Like, no more. I don't want to see your face ever again. I'm gonna block you and everything. And I don't care if it's like it's within the first week of us in the relationship versus if it happens 10 years after. Like, it's cheating. Cheating is cheating. A lot of people though always make this like issue with like, oh well, you don't know, like there's so many like famous married couples that obviously the men cheat and have like 10 different side chicks and hoes, but there's like kids involved and so they're together and it's fine. And it's like, is it fine though? Because I would want, first of all, I would care about my kids, right? And care about like the environment that they're growing up in. And I would not want my kids to grow up thinking, and obviously they're going to learn about the cheating some way, whether the father tells them or I tell them, like they're going to learn. I'm not going to keep that away from them, that their mom condones cheating. Like, I feel like that's how this shit gets normalized and passed down, is when like sons and daughters see their moms stick it out with her cheating husband. Like, no, you shouldn't try to stick it out for the kids. Divorce is hard, sure, but it's just, do you really want to have that sort of dynamic in your household and have your kids growing up in that? That could be potentially abusive and negative. And why would you want your kid to grow up in that sort of environment? Like, I'm all for like, once you find out, lights out. Lights out. It's over. I don't think there's really any situation where cheating would be fine and you can just regain the trust. That's an automatic like loss of trust. Like, we don't have to specifically say when we get in a relationship with someone like, I trust you. Like, it's just, it's inherent, right? When you get in a monogamous relationship, it's inherent that you have trust in each other. And when you break it, you can't gain it back. You really can't. Because how come the other person is staying loyal? How come they can hold their end of the bargain that comes with monogamy? It's just, no, but that's not gonna happen. That's never gonna happen. And am I gonna have sympathy for people that stay in cheating relationships and then whine and complain about it? No, because it's like, you have an option to leave. And again, even if kids are involved, I'm not saying that you have to automatically like pack your bags and go. Like, sure, you can take your time, but you're gonna have to leave. Like, you can't just stay. Oh, next one. Should couples live together before marriage? I haven't thought of this one before. I'm gonna say yeah. I'm definitely gonna say yeah. should couples live together before like a lifelong like partnership? And I think, yeah, I think you need to see if you can get along or not, and living together is a big deal. I had heard stories of like people moving in so swiftly after, I don't know, months of like barely getting to know each other, and then the relationship crashing down because they realize, wow, I can't stand this guy. We can't be under the same roof. So I feel like no, you shouldn't have to do it hastily, like within the first few months, but eventually, maybe years down the line, you're gonna have to consider living together. And hopefully before then, you've kind of known each other's habits, like you've been in each other's households, so you know a little bit about how they work, but you're gonna have to live together eventually. Um, and I would hope that years down the line, you're not with someone completely incompatible. So you will tolerate living with them. But I think it's really important. It's an important lesson to, well, I'll say lesson to learn, but like important experience that you need. So I would say yeah, but I don't think there should be like a time limit or anything. But you shouldn't do it so quick either. I think that's a recipe for disaster. Um, if you're feeling like you can't get along with them because of, let's say they're like extremely messy and you didn't know this about them, I don't know. I would hate to baby like my partner. Like every time go in his office and be like, "Oh, you need to clean." Like I would hate to do that shit. Like he would have to know how to like be clean, you know? So I feel like if it's like crazy, or what if you find out he's a massive hoarder? Like I can't survive that. So he's gonna have to fix that before we live together, or I'm just saying bye. I'm sorry. But yeah, I think couples should definitely live together. I don't see what the opposing side would say about this unless like you're getting married within like a couple weeks. And if you're married, of course you're gonna live together, so. Is jealousy a sign of love or insecurity? This is another good one. Um, I think there was something that I heard about like jealousy. When you're younger, it feels like, oh, it's a sign of love because obviously you're young and stupid and an idiot and you don't know what love really is. You've never been in love, and maybe you watch toxic like rom-coms and you think like, oh, like he's jealous that she's talking to this guy at the party, like it must be love. Again, I think that's only a sign of love if you're immature and you're emotionally like stunted and don't know what love is. It feels good to be like, oh, like he's jealous that I'm talking to other guys. He doesn't want me to. So he must love me. I don't think you can make that assumption. I think the older you get, and if you've know what true love is, you're going to have the opinion it's the latter, that it's insecurity. Because that can turn, it's not just insecurity, it can turn like dangerous and abusive real quick. Because if someone is a really big control freak, they can try to control you with, not allowing you to have like opposite sex friends. You can't be seen like out like talking like, or even they might even try to get in between you and your like male or female friendships, if they see it as a threat. So yeah, I think it depends on, yeah, it depends on your age, but a different like age demographic is gonna say a different thing to this like question. So, but I would say overall it's definitely a sign of insecurity. um Now, if you don't care at all, and like if you see your girl like let's say like at the bar and she's like talking and seems to be flirting and is like all up on another man, and you don't bat an eyelash or eyelid or like a singular like, I don't know, eye head tilt, um then yeah, that is also weird. That you would allow that kind of thing. But Yeah, I think it's more insecurity. Should couples have separate or joint bank accounts? Ooh, okay. This is also, I'm gonna be biased in the sense of, like, again, I don't think marriage is something I need to achieve. So I will say I'm all about being independent, and that includes financially, of course. So I think you absolutely should have your separate bank account, and also like like you're protecting yourself. That's a layer of protection because if you just decide to like give all the financial power to your partner and they end up being a piece of like garbage, you've put yourself in such a powerless situation because like the world is fucking revolving around money. And how are you going to support yourself if you know nothing about the financials, or if it's joint and you like trust your partner and they're not fucking blowing through money, they don't have a secret like gambling addiction, then you log into the account and you see like half the money's gone, you're going to be fucking pissed, right? And you're going to ask your like boyfriend like where did all the money go? It just can go sideways. So I think um for sure separate. For sure separate. And a joint too if you want, but you definitely have to have the separate bank accounts first. You can't rely on your partner. You just cannot because again, things can go sideways. Um and you need to like prepare for that because even though people like to think like, oh, by year 1 you really know your partner, or by year 5 you really know your partner, you really don't know people. People can be crazies and psychos or even serial killers. There's been a bunch of serial killers with fucking children, okay, and whole married lives, and they're living a double life. So just get a separate account. What impact does a significant age gap have on a partnership? Okay, well, it can be really bad if the significant age gap means the one person is a minor and the other is an adult. But we're not going to talk about that. Let's pretend that this is significant, but you guys are both adults. That also depends on like how old is the younger person in the relationship. Like, is this a 20-year-old with a 40-year-old? Because that absolutely will have an impact, a negative one at that. Like 20 and 40, you're just in different planets in terms of like thinking, feeling, behavior, like acting. You're just in different mindsets. Like, what could a 40-year-old have in common with a 20-year-old? Like, a 20-year-old, you've barely gone through college, right? You're yet to graduate. 40-year-old has already probably graduated, has probably already held down multiple jobs, or has been in the same job for decades, probably has an apartment they're living in for a long time or a house. They're stable financially, hopefully. Like they've they're like light years ahead of you as someone who's 20. So yeah, that would have a significant age gap. And again, like I would think what's wrong with the 40-year-old that he or she can't get with someone their age? Like, are all the women that are around 40 like running away from you because they sense something's wrong with you? Like, is that what's going on? That's what I would think. But let's switch that and say it's a 30 with a 50-year-old. So it's like the same age gap, but 30 with 50-year-old. I mean, how many like Hollywood actors we know that already have this age gap in Hollywood? But I don't think a 30-year-old is as immature as a 20-year-old. It's still, okay, it's still kind of creepy. I think with significant age gaps, what goes through my mind again is why are you going after someone significantly younger than you? Like, what is the perspective they have that you don't have? That you haven't, like, what lesson can they teach you that you haven't already learned? Yeah, I just definitely does have an impact, I would say. I'm not a big fan of like significant age gaps, um, but it's just like it's subjective, right? Like, I can never picture myself with someone who's significantly younger than me because I just know I mean, I'm barely 30, so it's like, I can't even picture myself with like a 22-year-old or maybe even 23. Like, I just think they're too immature still. Like, we're not we're not in the same level. We're just not. Like, I need someone who is at the same level as me or higher. Yeah, that's all the ones I want to do from here. Deciding on children, a joint or individual decision, I think universally, I think we're all going to say joint because why would you not talk to your partner about wanting kids? Like, that's a huge thing. And it's going to be like a huge point of argument if one of you realizes, oh, I'm not really into kids, but the other is really into kids. Yeah, that's going to fuck some shit up. So you need to have a joint decision. And if your partner seems like they don't want kids, or they're like dragging their feet, that's your sign to like get out of there. You know, if you really want kids, then you're wasting your time on this person, okay? Because the older you get, the harder pregnancy is gonna get. So just go after like a person that, you know, is on the same page as you. Like that's the key to like long healthy relationship. Resolving conflicts, quick confrontation or time to cool off. Ooh, I feel like that it depends on the type of personality you have. If you're a confrontation sort of person, right, you would want to get through the argument quick. But I know myself, and I think that I would want time to cool off for sure. Like, because if I'm angry in the moment, I might say some shit I'm gonna regret. Um, and I need time to cool off. So I would go with the latter, but honestly, it just depends on, you know, both your personalities. I don't think I can make it with someone who's so quick to confront. Soulmates, still a concept for today. No, I feel like that's like a fairy tale Disney princess sort of thing that we've all been sold as little kids. I don't buy into it. I mean, there's what, almost 8 billion of us right now on the planet, and you're telling me that out of all those 8 billion, out of all the people your age, there's only one person out of that 8 billion that you can be into, that you can have similar interests with, that you can get along with and have good conversation with. No, I don't believe that at all. And even if you think like your partner is like the best and you guys get along, like, I mean, it's like, this is gonna be a Debbie Downer, but it's like there's probably someone out there that's even more of like a soulmate type for you. You know what I mean? Even more of a perfect fit. So I don't think soulmates is thing. I think it's just like it comes from fiction. It's like fan fiction. I don't think it's a concept for today or the past. I don't think it's ever should have been a concept because I feel like also if you're super brainwashed by that, you would think that, oh, like, you know, this guy's great, he does this, 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 but sometimes he does things that I don't like, but at least he's my soulmate, you know? It's like, no, you have to like unprogram your brain from that sort of thing. Because it could probably get dark. Maybe you stick around with someone you're not supposed to stick around just because of the fact that they're your soulmate. I don't agree with that. Um, Couples therapy. Honestly, I can't speak a lot on this because I've never tried it. But I wouldn't be against it, though I do see the argument for people saying that once you're at that stage that something's wrong, then it's like you have to cut off the relationship because why would a healthy, happy couple want to go to couples therapy. But then again, there's the argument for even if you think you're the most normal, sane, happy, healthy person, you still could use therapy. Like, therapy could be a benefit to you. And I think even if you're a healthy, happy couple, like, why not try couples therapy? Maybe there's things that you put in the back of your head that you don't understand about your partner, you don't understand about the relationship, and you need help with, that therapist is gonna help. So I don't think it's a bad idea, but it depends. It's situational. Like, if you're approaching, I don't know, like divorce and you're going to couples therapy as like a last resort, just have that divorce. Like, I don't think like a couple weeks of therapy is just gonna save that. But if you're going as in like, what if I want to understand my partner better, like make it a stronger relationship? Sure. What other ones? Dating apps? Oh my god. As someone who's used them, they're a shit show, okay? They're a dumpster fire. They're awful. They're truly awful. It doesn't improve anything. If you get like a lifetime partner out of that, you're one of the lucky few. Like 0.0001% of people come out of dating apps and like happy relationships. They're dumpster fires. I tried multiple different ones. Even ones that I told myself I would never try. I tried. It's bad. It's bad. And it fucks up your brain because I think it feeds a lot of dopamine and all those like feel good chemicals that it's just like, oh, you get a match, you know? But it's not real because as soon as you message them, they either ghost you or you end up not liking them or they end up being a psycho. So it's like, just avoid them, honestly. Just avoid dating apps. Unless you're into hookups and one night stands, dating apps are perfect for it, but I don't think anything productive and long term is going to come out of dating apps. Do shared political beliefs lead to stronger relations? I'm going to answer this as like a obvious yes because it's one of the basic non-negotiables for me. It's like, even before we get to our first date, honestly, like I'm going to ask the person, what is your political belief? Like, are you religious? What is your outtake on life? Like, those general basic questions, I feel like you just have to know off the bat. And if he's a MAGA crazy, you know it's never going to work out. So I'm not even going to entertain the idea of a date. And these are questions that you ask way before you get into the date. So, yeah, absolutely. If we are totally opposite in terms of political beliefs, I can't have like honest conversations with you. I just can't. And it's going to be so exhausting to debate your partner every single time. I know some people have a thing for being like contrarians and are okay with fighting their partners on political beliefs. I am not one of those people. I would rather it be smooth sailing. Like, you understand my point of view, I understand your point of view. We're not going to agree on every single little thing. That's fine. But if we agree on the basic things, yeah, that's already a recipe for like a good relationship to happen. We already kind of answered this. Can you justify staying in an unfulfilling partnership for the sake of the children? No. That was with the question of like, is cheating okay? Can you survive it? No. I think this is the same thing. You can't justify being in an unfulfilling partnership for the sake of the children. Like, the children also see what's going on, right? If they see you fighting a lot, that's what they're going to think true love is. They're going to think like, this is what love is. Obviously, if they're grown up, they're not going to think that. If they've had like relationships themselves. Love topics for debate. Is love at first sight a romantic concept or misleading? Again, I think it's like Disney bullshit that's been fed to us as kids. I don't think that's a thing. It's lust at first sight. It's not love. And I feel like, men, right? They're baboons and they're like, we're visual creatures. So it definitely is lust at first sight for them, but it's definitely not love. And if that's the only thing that you like about the other person, that's like a pretty shallow relationship. It's misleading. Can love overcome any obstacle in a relationship, or are some issues insurmountable? No. Love cannot overcome any obstacle. Cheating, obviously, being the biggest one. Unless, of course, you both are fine with cheating, then I wouldn't really consider that a relationship. But no, there's plenty of obstacles you can't overcome. What if, that person ends up being a serial killer, guys? I can't. There's no amount of love for me. My love is gone for you once I find out you're a psycho. I would help you get help, but, there's no more love. Is self-love more critical than love from a partner? More critical? You know what? I'm going to be controversial and say yes. I think it is more critical than love from a partner because it's so hard to find self-love. I mean, with the society we live in, guys, um, that if you don't have self-love, it's going to be so hard for you to really take in love from a partner. And I've definitely had this issue in the past. I haven't been where I needed to be in terms of self-esteem and confidence, and I was just miserable in the relationship. Even though my partner might have been like complimenting me, was showering me with love and affection, there's nothing they could have done for me to like truly take in that love because I wasn't feeling that towards myself. So you need to find that form of self-love, whatever it is, and you will feel the difference once you have it. It's not something I can say like, oh, if you just do this, this, and this, it's self-love, and you finally love yourself. It's just you will feel the difference. You'll become more confident. You'll be less guarded around people. Everything will just align, and if you don't have that, it's just hard to be in a relationship, honestly. And I would say the more controversial thing is don't get into a relationship unless you've achieved that, which means a lot of you guys have to stay single for a while. I'm calling myself out. So, can you love someone without liking them? What? No. No. That feels like kind of passive aggressive. Can you love someone without liking them? No. Because it's like love is higher than like on the hierarchy. So it doesn't make sense. Like you first like someone, then it turns into love. So if you love them, you automatically do. Well, it's not true in the case of, okay, let's say like sibling relationships, right? Not everyone loves, well, not everyone likes being in their siblings' presence 24/7 or like distant family members. But how do you say you love them but you don't like them? That doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. If you guys can argue for this, I would love to see what it is. Again, I think you first like some. If you don't like them, you're not gonna love them. That's the thing. And if you love them, you like them. That doesn't mean you can't have differences and you can't be annoyed by each other, but like if you love them, you like them. Like that's all it is. Can partnerships survive and thrive without intimacy? Again, that's a case by case basis. I mean, if you're someone who you don't want that in the first place in your like partnership and you find someone who also doesn't want it and you can survive without it, then yeah, absolutely. This is a case by case basis. But if you're like the rest of us, like hooligans, then no, you just can't survive. It's like a given in the relationship. But again, it's if you're the type of person that's into it. But it would feel like if you're the type of person that's not into it, it's going to be so much harder to find a partner that's okay with that. Because it's like you have to sort of supplement that with something else in the relationship. I don't know, enough romantic love, I guess. I don't know. It's a case by case basis. Should there be more open discussions about needs within relations? Absolutely. I think if you don't discuss that topic and discuss it before you're intimate, then I think when you do have intimate relations, it's just not going to be as good because you weren't open to having discussions on it first. You should be open to like what you tolerate, what you don't tolerate, what you like, what you don't like. Um, that has to be an open discussion, even though it's not particularly like easy to talk about, or maybe like you're shy about it. Like you have to. And I feel like when you grow up, then you're just gonna be more open and honest. Unless you've been like shamed your whole entire life about it, then you're gonna have to like do like a journey of self-discovery to finally be open enough about it, or find a partner who's like open about that sort of thing so you feel comfortable discussing it. Um, should partners have the right to refuse without justification? Absolutely. Anyone at any time, even during, can say no. Okay? Like, consent can be given and also taketh away. So, yeah, that's. You don't have to justify it. You don't have to write me a fucking paragraph why you don't want to do it anymore. Like, what if I'm just tired? What if you just aren't in the mood anymore? That's fine. Like, even if you planned on it beforehand, it's fine. It's fine. You don't have to save, like, you don't have to explain yourself, like, at all. Can any circumstances justify cheating? No. That's absolutely not. Is it ethical to use spyware to monitor a partner's digital activity? What are you, the FBI? No, it's not at all ethical. Like, it's not ethical, it's not moral. Even if the partner agrees to it, I don't know in what scenario you'd be okay with like your partner putting in spyware. Um, no. Just imagine them hacking your like phone camera and shit. Like wanting to see you where you are at all times, or like looking up your browsing history. Like, why do you need to know that? Like, why are you that insecure? No, it's not ethical at all. And if my partner like suggests it, that's a big ass red flag. Is it acceptable to remain friends with an ex when in a new relationship? No. I am leaning towards no, but I do know that there might be, it's situational. There might be situations where um maybe you're in a relationship with the person for only 2 months. You know, you don't really know the person. It was mutual and there was no hard feelings. Then it's like, yeah, but then here's me, and maybe it's like toxic, whatever, I don't care, but it's like, I'm thinking, what good is that friendship to me, like, after the relationship is done? You know what I mean? It's like, I thought of you in a romantic sense, it didn't work out. I don't need your friendship. You know? Like, even if we were super compatible, we had similar hobbies, there's other people that have similar hobbies as me that I can, like, hang out with. I have friends outside of my relationships. It's like, why would I need to keep you around? And the only thing I could think of is you still have feelings for your ex, and you want to keep them around to keep an eye on them. That's really all it is. And if you don't have feelings for them, again, the 2 month scenario, then yeah, it's fine because you never really had love for them in the first place. You know? Like, there was nothing developing, so they were kind of on a friendship basis with you anyway. So, yeah, sure, remain friends with them. But if you had, like, feelings for them, even if it wasn't love, if you had romantic feelings, my brain just doesn't switch like that. I can't just switch into, oh, let's just pretend it was platonic the entire time and I'm fine with seeing you with other people right under my nose. Like, no. I would want to get out of that situation as fast as possible, and that would mean cutting off all exes. Um, Again, the only reason I would want you around is if I had no feelings for you. And that should be, if you had feelings for me, that should be really like, I should feel bad for you that I want to keep you as a friend. Um, yeah, no. Because again, it's like, you're not desperate for their friendship. You can find other people, you have friends, and it's important when you're in a relationship to have like a friend circle. It doesn't mean you have to have like 20 friends. Even if it's like one or two or three, like it's important to have that support system outside of a relationship so that when you do break up, you're not so codependent and you're not like crying alone in your room because you have no one else. Like, get other people to listen to you, like, vent, you know? Anyway, I'm gonna say no, but I know there's gonna be a lot of people that are like, yeah, it's fine, it's whatever. But I'm like, why? Why do you want to keep tabs on them? You know? Why? I feel like the person that first suggests staying friends is the one that probably wants to keep tabs because it's like they just want to see what you're up to, you know? Or they slowly want to insert themselves back in your life as a romantic partner, and they're just like waiting around for you to go into these like short-term relationships and then see them and be like, oh my god, all along it was you. Like, that's just fan fiction shit. Is it necessary for a couple to have similar socioeconomic backgrounds for successful relations? Listen, I I want to say I don't care about that, but at the same time, if someone if their socioeconomic gap is so much larger from mine, I'm gonna have a hard time because I'm not saying I want to go to like 5-star restaurants. I think they're pretty lame, but it's like if I can fully afford to do something like a date activity and you can't, I'm gonna feel like bad. And I don't know. I feel like a lot of people don't want to feel like they're being pitied, right? So I wouldn't. I mean, I would offer to pay, but like I would be like, I wish you could do this date activity with me also. Like I wish you could afford it with your own money. I value financial independence, and I feel like again, if it's like such a huge gap, it's just not gonna work out. But we don't have to be way too similar. Um, I mean, I also am not gonna like go out with someone who is 10 times more successful than me because that just opens the door for possible abuse through like financial manipulation and like a power dynamic there. So yeah, I think it needs to be kind of similar but not the exact same thing. For youth, social media's impact on youth fucking sucks. Don't use social media, it's bad. Um Sharing chores, is it essential? Yes. I'm not doing everything, and you're not doing everything. We are sharing. It doesn't have to perfectly be 50-50, but come on now. You have to know how to do laundry, wash the dishes, clean, be a clean person. If you haven't learned those, I'm not raising a man child. You're gonna have to know how to do that. Alright. That was it. Let me know what y'all think about some of these that I went through. A lot of them were really similar to each other, so that's why I didn't talk about them. But yeah, I try to pick the most interesting ones. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.